Hey y'all, welcome to Children's Church. I'm so thankful that you have signed on to be a teacher for us as we move into this new room and new kids and everything like that. So we're just going to kind of quickly go over what it looks like. And then like I've said before, I will be with each one of you at least once so that you can kind of see how I do it and what goes through. This year we do have two new littles joining us. My own Jamie and also Rowan Boyd. They are 4. And so that just changes things. It brings it down a little bit more, but we're also going to have to be very calm and patient with them as we teach them how to do this new thing, how to interact and be worshipful, but also be playful. So I'm really just thankful for you guys joining me on this. As you can see behind me, this is our new space. I encourage you to pop up here and look at it. When children's sermon is over, the kids will be sent down the middle aisle to meet you right there by that back door. Then you guys will go out that door and up I think they're marble stairs, the fancy stairs, to this room. Really encourage the children to be quiet during that time because church will still be continuing on. And then once you get in here, close both of the doors just so that our noise doesn't go out there, their noise doesn't come into us. And just get ready to go. You'll see behind me, we're gonna go over and look at it. This side of the room is Sunday school. That side of the room is children's church. And so we'll have all the kids go over there and sit in a circle in the middle of the floor. A quick tour of the space. You'll see I am standing where you as the leader, as the teacher will stand. Right over here in the middle of the room is what's called our desert box. Ignore all the fruit and veggies that are in there. My girls were playing with that. So that stays there for stories that require the desert box. And you can either teach those stories over there or it has wheels so you can slide it this way if you need it. Then in the back of the room, these are all of our stories. Each story kind of gets its own section and they will be labeled so that you can pull out what story you need. They are whole and complete, or they will be whole and complete. You can kind of see the mess in the middle as I have been working on the stories, getting them back together after the pandemic year and borrowing pieces for digital church. This shelf over here will be our Lent shelf, so it will have all of the Lent materials on it. David Turner is building us a little altar table that will go there that will have our candles. That piece of fabric is our liturgical calendar that's usually hanging up, and then this is the Christmas shelf. So we will have the schedule posted, or kind of the worship order posted somewhere for you to really easily kind of glance and reference it, but just so you can kind of get the feel of how it goes. Once we are seated and the kids are in a circle in front of us, we start by inviting them. We say, this is a worship time. This is where we welcome God. And so it's time to light our candle. And where I'm sitting actually will be our table with our candle. So you can invite a child forward to come and light the candle. And as we light it, we say, the peace of Christ be with you, or the light of Christ be with you. So I would normally say that and then invite the children to say it as well. Once our candle is lit, that's when we do our liturgical calendar that is fallen down. You invite another child to move the arrow through the liturgical calendar and then maybe talk about where we are. Oh, did you see we're only a couple of Sundays away from Lent? What happens in Lent, or what happens after Lent? So just kind of help them kind of figure out how our church calendar works. Everything is color-coded. Lent is purple, Advent is purple, so it's really easy to see and understand. After you do the liturgical calendar, you sit down and you say, now it's time to do our centering song. Our centering song is kind of a weird tune, but it's an easy tune, and it goes like this. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. And I'll cut that part of the song out so that you guys can listen to it and get familiar with it. So once we do our centering song, our calming song, it's time to start telling the story. And so this will be, usually I will have pulled the story out for you and have it over here. If not, go grab it from one of the shelves. And you just take it and you'll have a script here that you can read. This is one of the Easter stories, and so you would lay out and say, this, I'm just making this up, is a very important part of our story. I wonder why it's white. There was a tomb present. And that is where we know that Jesus was buried after he died. And then Mary came. And you'll tell the story like that. You'll tell it kind of calmly and just say what's written on your page. You can ad-lib a little bit so that you're not just stuck reading it. When you touch the figures, be sure to touch them by their bodies. Don't grab them by their heads, because that's just kind of weird. We use these figures, it's a very Montessori style, so that kids can kind of imagine what they want to on the figure. So you wouldn't be touching, Mary by her head and smushing her face. So that's why we do really respectfully, we touch them and we move through with our calm voice. And then when it's over, we leave whatever the final tableau is present. And in your script, there will be some wondering questions. So that's when it's interactive time. You may say, I wonder how Mary felt when she went to the tomb. And you just pause and you let the kids respond. And you don't ever say, yes, that's right, or no, that's wrong. You say, oh, that's interesting. You can ask a follow-up wonder question, but we just kind of let them be present and explore the story however they want to and want to interact with it. And then once our story is over, you can either leave it out like this or you can pack it back up in its tray, because then we are going to move into feast time, and that is what we call snack. We call it a feast to kind of make it feel more special and more churchy. So probably over here in the Sunday school area, there will be some shelves that have some snacks in it. This is a time, at this point, kids are hungry. It's really close to their lunchtime. So you can either sit here on the circle or at the Sunday school tables and have a snack. I do ask adults that you keep your mask on still. The kids can take theirs off, obviously, to eat their snacks. And then after feast time, it's response time. And this is where you kind of have to judge, and one adult has to pay attention to what's going on in church. And so at this point, the kids can come interact with the story. They can interact with another story if they want. I just ask that they don't mix pieces. So if they get out Jonah, they only play with Jonah. They don't mix Jonah and Easter together, because that just makes a mess for me. So they can interact with the stories however they want to. If they want to play with the Jonah materials but tell a different story, that is okay. This is just letting them interact. Or they can get out some art supplies and do some art. This isn't just like a free whatever time. They're really encourage them to respond or interact in this moment. And then whenever you notice that we're getting really close to communion time, that's when you're going to line up and quietly head back downstairs to release the children back to their parents, again encouraging them to be quiet. As we feel all of this out, we're going to have to gauge timing a little bit of when we release them, because obviously you want to get through the story and preferably at least a little bit of response time. So just kind of pay attention to how your schedule is going, and be sure to update me of like, it's not enough time, we're running, or it's too much time, we're drowning in like boredness. But we really do want the kids to be back in the room for communion if at all possible. But with how our schedules kind of changed and adapt over the past year and a half, we're going to have to kind of play that by ear. So this is Children's Church, and again, I'm so thankful that you have volunteered to teach and help out.